Hello everyone. Welcome to Spoiler Warning, featuring myself, Tom Colohue. My name is literally on the thing. And look upon ye spectacle and wonder what the hell Sai was thinking with this one. Welcome everyone. This is the birthday version of Spoiler Warning. This is our third birthday show because we've been doing this about 3.5 years now. And so far, so good when it comes to the world of streaming. We are still going to have a little bit of wrestling news. It's the first time we've actually had a birthday on a Spoiler Warning day. Usually I just sort of work it around other days to do like a special stream, but today is literally the birthday and we have 2 streams, so we might as well enjoy it. I've got a little bit as regards, I say a little bit, I've got plenty as regards wrestling. And of course we'll do the usual things, celebrate birthday, talk about my year to date, basically the season that was season 34 of Tom Colohue, and of course a little bit of talk about the channel and the review of the channel, how things are going at the moment. So, I want to say a huge thanks to everyone who's already joined, and there are quite a few of you already actively wishing me happy birthday. We have Raymond, we have Carlos, we have Joe, we have Jaden, we have Aaron, we have the Dark Society, we have Devon, we have Sai, we have Airwolf, we have David, we have Daz, we have Leon, we have Brad, we have Zane, we have Ken, we have Adam, we have Gomar, we have, I've already said Daz, I've already said so many of you, we have Ray, we have Mark, we have Eric, we have Stuart, we have Dylan, we have Razar, we have Noob, we have Garmac, we have Jordan, we have Hogan, we have Joey, we have Venom, we have Bailey, we have Spider Boss, already making a point to say hi, and plenty of happy birthdays in there as well. We have a listener as well. That's a lot of names. That is a lot of names. Thank you, Just Incredible as well. Another happy birthday from so many of you. I am 35 years old, and I don't think I've ever had anywhere near this many happy birthday wishes. Eric as well, wishing happy birthday. So happy to see so many of you. Ghost here as well, saying happy birthday. Also, there is something very special about this channel for me, and I think a large part of it is because we are live, and we went live pretty much from the day this channel started. Thank you, Vape. Thank you, Christian, as well, for wishing me a happy birthday. I will get to the wrestling news, I promise, but I do want to start, as always, thank you, B-School Nick, with a massive thank you to so many of you. Thank you, Dimitar. Welcome to the show. Thank you, Jungles. So many people. So many people. I want to start with a massive thank you to all of you. When I started using this channel, thank you, Michael. When I started using this channel for live shows and for watch parties, it was January 2021. January 2021. We were still firmly in lockdown, and I decided we have a Royal Rumble coming, and I cannot watch it with my friends. Historically, I always watch the Royal Rumble with my friends. Thank you, Robs. Welcome to the show. Because I couldn't do that, the UK was in lockdown, I decided to stream the show. Now, I'd spent a long time live tweeting Raw, live tweeting SmackDown. The entire pandemic, I live tweeted both shows. And in many ways, thank you very much, KJ, I do kind of feel like I wasted a lot of time when I could have been streaming. When so many people could have joined me on streams live. And we could have had a community this strong and just this caring straight away. We didn't have that, but we have it now. And I can only speak for myself, but I'm so flattered that so many of you turn up week in and week out. So many of you turn up even once a year, and it really does make me feel wanted, valued, and that I have a place in this world. As many of you guys know, there were times that was not the case. Today it is, and over the last few years it has been. Michael already dropping gifts, as it were. Gifts a sub to Ghost. Thank you very kindly, Michael. Now, I slightly suppose what I was going to do, because it's a birthday and I am done. As many of you guys know, I don't open. Oh, there's a thing. As many of you guys know, I do dumb stuff. Really dumb stuff. For example, my most profitable days on these channels. Will you bloody open? Were the days in which I did, for example, the squats. Dumb as it sounds, it was a lot of fun. Mustafa, I'm not on Threads as of yet. I'm waiting to see how it goes. Richard, there is a SummerSlam video already live on the channel, giving my full predictions. And thank you very much, SBF. Thank you, KJ, for the song as well. And thank you for those very kind words, Justin. So when I do dumb stuff, people tend to respond. And so I have fun. So I'm trying to think of fun but dumb stuff I can do, which does not destroy my body. Whenever someone gives a gift sub or a gift channel membership, blah, 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 or like a certain amount of donation. I'm thinking about $2.50 to, that's about as much as a gifted sub usually costs. And as silly as it is, it's a birthday. So while I don't want to be bouncing around, I just want to say thank you. The overall memes of, don't you dare not work. That was better than I expected. With the overall memes of party poppers. I don't know how loud that was, but they're always going up because in the end I'm going to be like, here, let's be fair. We'll see how badly we end up in that way. Shots? No, Brad, because we tried shots once for a Survivor Series watch party. Who remembers the shots? That was a bad move, wasn't it? That was a very bad move. So I have 40 of these, just in case. Thank you, Michael, for that. Party popper goes straight up, we see how it goes, and we play where it falls. I also want to say a massive thank you for everyone who's already hit like. We're on 25 at the moment. If we hit 50, I'll hit another popper. Also, yes, Si, you may have had some influence on this, creating some emojis, and which certainly fit the model, as it were. Yes, noob, that was absolutely a bad idea, but you know what? I embrace it. Sai says, do yourself a favour tonight and just don't try to keep up with the chat. We'll understand. There is plenty of wrestling news, I promise you. I promise you there's wrestling news. But I've been asked what I got for my birthday. Plenty of stuff. So far, clothing. More white jeans. As you guys know, I like a white jean. But I just don't want to remind you, because last year, my partner got me this. Now, I'm not a fan of cards. Just did work. I'm not a big fan of cards. So she didn't get me a card. She got me a picture of a giraffe. And this year, she also did not get me a card. I've never really understood the point of cards, just to be clear. She got me a duck with a balloon. Which is really nice. It's just really nice. Also, stepdad. So this is what happens when you have stepkids. Lovely, lovely. And then family. Now, much like the circle of life, I have 48 cans of cherry Coke. 48 cans. 48 cans down here in the corner. 48 cans. Now, we'll still be talking plenty of birthday stuff. This is a slightly different stream in that we are not going to be focused entirely on wrestling. I know a lot of you guys are here just for the wrestling. I'm going to open a window because the smell of the popper is not quite dissipated yet, and I don't want to have an unnerving effect on my overall health. Thank you, Wrestling and Magic. I appreciate it. Absolutely not, Joey. I will be sick. But yes, so as I've laid out, as we start to go into the actual... No, Ken, I'm not drunk. As we start to go into what's actually the wrestling news here, please beware, as I've said, if anyone does gift a donation of more than $2, a gifted sub, a gifted channel membership, there will be party poppers. If that was a really loud and obnoxious noise, please let me know and I'll pop them over here somewhere, and who knows how that's going to go. It's dumb, but I'll do it. Also, you may be able to talk me into the squats, but we'll see how that goes. I'm a bit chubby right now and I could really benefit from it because I've never been fitter. So, wrestling. This is still spoiler warning, that there will still be spoiler warning. Hogan No, you may not. Whatever that is, it ain't true. Thank you, Gordy. Appreciate that. So many people already. Khalid as well, dropping in saying hi. SCW is here. Welcome, Steve. Thank you very kindly. Thomas Phipps as well saying happy birthday. I do want to make sure to acknowledge every single one of you. Every single one of you who wishes me a happy birthday. Jay Quick as well. Lovely to see you back lately, mate. Sean saying happy birthday as well. I do want to make sure to acknowledge every single one of you who are here because you guys make this happen. Right, so the wrestling news, you may have noticed our main headline is about the fact that SummerSlam is going to be a jumping off point for a whole lot of wrestlers who are not planning to be there after SummerSlam, either by full on leaving or just leaving for a brief amount of time. So a good old fashioned break. This is quite a high number, some of which have already been reported, some of which are still in position to see where we go from here. So, the ones we already know about, Ronda Rousey is planning to leave either at or shortly after SummerSlam. She is wrapping up her contract and she is moving on without really thinking too hard about what she may or may not leave behind. Trish Stratus is also intending on calling it there. She came back almost entirely to work with Becky Lynch, as she did many moons ago to work entirely with Charlotte Flair also. Brock Lesnar is considering going, as it were. His contract is technically a SummerSlam to SummerSlam one for like multiple SummerSlams, but he's considering his choices now because Vince McMahon is no longer solely at play, and he used to really like it when Vince was there. I know that'll surprise a lot of people, but Brock and Vince are actually extremely close, and I do think that's worth mentioning. Becky Lynch is looking at taking a break, as has already been reported elsewhere. She does have a somewhat limited date contract, and a large part of that means some time off as and when she needs it. Seth Rollins, to my knowledge, has not signed one of those contracts, but there is one being prepared for him long term. Also, Roman Reigns has the most limited date contract of anyone in the company. He's been working pretty much non-stop since the Royal Rumble, basically a week on, a week off, and he is looking at taking a bit more gathered up time off from here on. Now, there will be replacements taking the spots, and that is largely built around people who are now returning and will be used a lot more later in the year. Edge is one of those number. Edge will be used at SummerSlam and will be used going forwards. I'm not entirely sure who Edge is going to face, but Grayson Waller seems the obvious choice here. I really should have mentioned that in my match card predictions. But Edge is back and will be working with a number of different people, depending on who he can put over and who he can basically develop going forward. I'd be looking at Imperium. So, for example, Gunter versus Edge is something that's been mentioned. Sheamus versus Edge. Butch versus Edge is also something that's been mentioned a few times. Essentially, anyone a little lower down the card has a strong opportunity to be more involved. There's also a number of people slightly lower down the card. Logan Paul is going to be used a little bit more going forwards. Gable Steveson has been reported that he'll be taking a break after SummerSlam. He hasn't really done anything, but I'm told Gable Steveson has agreed to at least start working in the WWE a little more regularly, so we should see more of him. But the people lower down the card include upcoming pushes for Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Ricochet, Grayson Waller, and I know this will make you happy, LA Knight. There is apparently a push being planned as we speak for LA Knight, which would bring him up the ladder closer to the top level. Not to the top level, but closer to the top level. Joey says, do you think Knight will face Theory at SummerSlam? I do not. If that was going to happen, I'd imagine they'd already be in some way engaged, and Austin Theory logically should have been in the ladder match to make that happen. Personally, I suspect Sheamus versus Austin Theory will be happening at SummerSlam, but for example, LA Knight versus Austin Theory would make sense for afterwards. Thank you, Mark. Legend. Well, Ed says, hey, Tom. Hello, Ed. How are you, sir? The OG, as it were, here from day one. Eric says, the Judgment Day breakup coming. It's being teased. Dylan says, would you rather be tied up and tickled or charged at by a buffalo? Charged at by a buffalo. I actually have a pretty good jump on me. And once I cleared it, I'm okay. Christian says, I wonder if celebs in the WWE also have opt-out clauses like Logan Paul, and I'm guessing Pat McAfee too. Pat McAfee doesn't have ironclad anything, really. His contract basically states he will make this many appearances in the WWE, but doesn't actually set a time limit on it. Adam is on a mission to try and get 100 likes. We're on 34 at the moment, so good luck, Adam, but I appreciate what you're trying to do there. We reach 50, we'll do another popper. Party popper. Party popper. Felix says happy birthday. Appreciate that, Felix. Justin says, any Bray return news? No. To my knowledge, Bray Wyatt has no planned return to the WWE. No one has pitched a return to him. Nobody has said that he is ready to return. He is not returning. That's the knowledge that I have. The most recent knowledge that I have. If he pops up on SmackDown, I didn't know about it, and that does occasionally happen, just to be clear on that one. But at the moment, everyone I'm speaking to has made it clear that there will be no Bray Wyatt return anytime soon. KJ says Edge, Logan, Rousey, Roman and Brock are his picks, and maybe Trish too. Spiderbot says, who do you think will be Rhea Ripley's opponent for SummerSlam? I already have a video live on YouTube detailing all of my match card predictions, including Rhea Ripley. Joey says, do you know if Brock's contract is up after SummerSlam? I don't. Brock Lesnar's contract is probably the most closely guarded secret in the WWE. Eric says, is Riddle planning a break too? Not to my knowledge, no. KJ says, according to Brandon First and WrestleNomics, the next Saudi Arabia event is planned for Saturday, November 4th. Maybe Brock will be back around that time. That would make sense to me. Christian says, if Becky Lynch takes a break, I could see Alexa coming back and taking her place. She will not be doing that. Alexa is pregnant. She's off long term. Joey says, do you think Bray will be back for SummerSlam? No. Unless he appears, with Edge tonight, nothing else makes any sense whatsoever. To my knowledge, Bray Wyatt will not be returning by SummerSlam. Dylan says, Dave Meltzer's reportedly said the main event of WrestleMania 40 is Cody versus Roman. Is this true? Might be. But if he said that, it's probably a guess. Michael says, did Gable Stevenson really show up on one time in 2 years and ask for a break? Apparently so, yes. Sean says, WWE put out a tweet announcing that Survivor Series will take place at the Allstate Arena in Chicago on Saturday, November 25th. No mention of War Games. Yeah, because they don't want to give you the entire thing. They're not going to sit here and say, this event is going to take place at this time. The main event is going to be Roman versus Edge, and Edge is going to win. That's not what they're going to do. Spider-Boss says, I never got why Dominic Mysterio never went into NXT before going to the main roster. Primarily because Rey Mysterio didn't want that to happen. Jay Quick says, when will the tag team titles be split up? It's a very good question. They keep sort of pulling it. They want it to happen, but they keep pulling back from it. King Hazard says, Tom, do you think Roman Reigns will be on SmackDown? Yeah, probably. Mark wants LA Knight as US champion. Gomar says, any update on Carlito? Not at this time, no. Dark Society says, does that mean Roman will drop the title at SummerSlam? My predictions, once again, are on the YouTube video that is already live on this channel, went live on Wednesday. Joey says, why are they gonna do Sheamus again? He's already faced Theory twice, to try and elevate him by putting him against someone who he can definitely work with and beat. David Leary says, should we read anything into Triple H missing Raw on Monday, or was it just a day off? It was just a day off. Nothing worth reading into it. Triple H likes to develop the people working with him and give them opportunities like that. Joey says, apparently LA Knight did big merch sales over the weekend. Fair. Bailey says, Brock Lesnar likes Vince because Vince paid him whatever he asked for. Pretty much, but also they genuinely do like each other. They're interested in a lot of the same things. Spider-Boss says, could we consider Bray Wyatt someone difficult to work with? We could, but there's no reason to. Razar says, what does the company think about Austin Theory? Seems to have taken a massive step back since WrestleMania. Are they still pushing him? Push is a strong term. Certainly they don't think he's getting the reactions they were hoping for at this point, but they have paired him with Pretty Deadly because they do believe he has some leadership potential. Joe says, Tom, do you think John Cena will be at SummerSlam? No. Brad says, Tom, what about reports of more people moving down to NXT on a regular to permanent basis? That's been happening. I don't understand the reporting angle of that because that's been happening for years now. CM says, will the Usos be getting their tag titles back soon? Nope. Dimitar says, hope you have fun today. Tom, thank you very much. Number of the Devil says, any new news about Bray Wyatt and when he could return? There is no new news. A lot of people are speculating and theorizing, but there is no report with any credibility stating that Bray Wyatt is planning to return anytime soon. To my knowledge, there is no planned return, none whatsoever, for Bray Wyatt. Venom says, what are the plans for AJ Styles? and then asks about Johnny Gargano. I've answered that question for you many, many times, Venom, and as such, at this point, I'm not going to answer that question again. Sean says Gable has been on NXT the last 2 weeks for Underground. Meltzer said Gable is now being listed on the NXT internal roster. Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's not main roster. In fact, the plan seems to be to dovetail at this point. Chad Gable is on both. The NXT roster can pull from the main roster whenever it chooses to. Rodney says, will Finn get kicked out of the Judgment Day? Spoilers. Spider-Boss says, with Becky taking time off, do you see Liv taking her spot as Raw's top babyface? Yes, and I've in fact previously reported a big push for Liv Morgan incoming. Thank you, Squid, appreciate that. KJ says, speaking of Grayson Waller, they're super high on him. Did you know every time he hosted his talk show on SmackDown, he was a draw segment every time? Yes, I did, and I've been pointing that one out myself. It's a very clear and very positive indication of where they expect to see Grayson Waller going in the near future. Michael Winston says, any Lashley news? A little bit. They were planning to have him back by SummerSlam. I certainly think it's possible we get Lashley versus Edge. That seems to make a lot of sense for me. Makes the most sense from where I'm sitting for that match to happen. Bobby Lashley is someone they want to get back into contention as soon as possible. There are certainly a lot of options available for him on SmackDown. Roman, of course, is one of them and could well be a feud that they have after SummerSlam. So they don't really have the creative firmly in play to my knowledge over the last few weeks when I've asked the question, but that may have changed recently. As I say, they were trying to get him back for SummerSlam, but they would need a good story. They did some damage with the whole Bray Wyatt thing. Leon says, hi Tom, happy birthday. Appreciate that, mate. Recently got blocked from Fightful for simply tweeting that you reported the Judgment Day news first. Yeah, that happens. Wrestler Fan says, will Edge wrestle at SummerSlam? He is planning a return for SummerSlam as part of his limited day contract. I expect to see him there, yes. Thomas says, from your predictions for the SummerSlam card, what do you think will be the match of the night? Roman versus Jay? No question whatsoever. No question whatsoever. Definitely Roman versus Jay. Christian says, to be honest, WWE should have waited to sign Gable Steveson until after 2024 as he's trying to compete in the Olympics again and is wrestling in college. He assured them that he had the time needed to be involved. That is obviously not what has happened. As it says, do you think it was the wrong choice having Jay pinning Roman? No, not at all. I think it was basically a toss-up and they could have gone either way. I don't think it was the wrong choice. Spider-Boss said, at this point, every time people bet against Roman, he retains his title. Dark Society says, how's the weather over there? I know it's been hot in the US. It's been damn hot here as well. Damn hot here. Airwolf says, when's Randy coming back? Tell you what, Airwolf, I do have a video on this topic, which details everything going on with Randy Orton. It was released in February, and you might want to check it out. Jay Quick says, do you see when the Peacock deal expires, Endeavour moves the WWE to a new streaming service? They do want to continue the Peacock deal. They think it's been very good to get eyes on the product, but they will go to the highest bid or whatever that may be. Dimitar says, any news on Mercedes or plans for the strong women belt? Not at this point in time, no. Mercedes is still recovering, has met with Tony Khan, with a plan to essentially work in AEW. Dylan says, Tom, when do you think Roman will start filming the movie he is in? I expect him to take a bit of time off after SummerSlam. But based on his schedule, he could do both at once. Joey says, Dave Meltzer reported Baron Corbin will be moved down to NXT permanently. We'll see how that plays out. Joe says, Tom, I think Roman is on SmackDown tonight because they're doing a court case thing. Eric says, do you think the Creeds go to Raw or SmackDown? Couldn't tell you. No idea. No idea whatsoever. CM says, will the Bloodline story be going for this whole year? Or is there a new storyline for the Usos? The Usos will eventually be moving on, but there is still Bloodline to wrap up. Spider-Boss says, between Bianca and Rhea Ripley, Bianca has surprised me nicely. She's got better now with the heel vibes. We did talk about a potential heel turn for Bianca Belair, and I do feel it's really helping her overall character. Callie says, evening Tom, hope you're having a great birthday. Thank you, Callie, I very much appreciate that. It has been very good so far. Ran into a couple of friends, had a couple of drinks, but nothing serious. And yeah, blew a party popper because of Michael. It was a dumb idea, but I'll keep him, and it'll be fun. Hogan says, story could be simple for Lashley. Lost the title in Elimination Chamber match where he didn't get pinned and hasn't gotten a rematch since. Would make sense for Roman, certainly. Snare says, who do you think will challenge Edge? If so, do you think it'll be tonight or for SummerSlam? It will be for SummerSlam. Khalid says, will you be streaming Fastlane this year? Unless it's in Saudi Arabia, yes. Dad says, if CM Punk faces one of the elite, who... I don't see the rest of the message there. Dylan says, do you think Solo turns on Roman after he beats Jay? Probably, because before he beats Jay, he won't do that, because that's too soon. Joey says, do you think they could do a triple threat match with Balor, Priest, and Rollins? Absolutely they could. I don't think it'd be a good idea, but absolutely they could. Hector says, hey Tom, hope all is well. I know they'd never openly say it, but I honestly feel like the WWE may have buyer's regret when it comes to Bray, because honestly he's not really had a great return and now he's off TV. Yeah, he's been off TV for 4 months now. 4 months. The anniversary of his return is likely to happen without him having returned. Dad says, who do you see dethroning MJF? Adam Cole, makes a lot of sense. Peter says, happy birthday, literally sings happy birthday. Thank you kindly, Peter. Appreciate that and appreciate you being here. Kelly says, like the Pledge of Beach sign, have you been on the ride? If so, what is your favourite? Right, I have climbed out of the avalanche ride because I have like a awkward body shape and there is no safety harness that can hold me. KJ says, quote from Meltzer is that common sense is reporting this after a year of Triple H in charge, and you said this about 67 months ago. Okay, 67, bloody hell. As it says, do you think Roman turns face? No. Joe says, Tom, is there still SmackDown on your birthday? Yes, we will be doing a SmackDown watch party today. It will be like past midnight. It will then no longer be my birthday. So this is the birthday show. I am 35 at this point in time. 35. Jay Quick says, do you think Roman makes it to Mania as champ? Personally, I do not. I do not. Razar says, since it's your birthday, do you like cake or cupcakes more or neither? Cake. I have a lemon meringue pie sat in the fridge. I am looking forward to it, but I'll take my time with this one. I'm not a young man anymore. Snare says, any news about Alexa Bliss? She's pregnant. Anyway. Dark Society says, favourite SummerSlam moment? The ladder match between Triple H and The Rock from SummerSlam 98. Triple H picking up the win because China low blows Mark Henry. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Khalid says, 4 months, Bray's been off, thank you for telling me, Tom. Told everybody, mate, told everybody. He was off and vanished before WrestleMania. He's been off for 4 months. Last time we saw him, he was starting to team with Uncle Howdy, and then it went nowhere. They put a lot of plans together, that would have involved quite a lot of Alexa Bliss. Naturally, this has stopped a long, long time ago. As I'm going through these questions, please do remember, as you join the channel, to hit like. We currently have 40 likes, which is good, but we also have 83 people here, so we have double the amount. Also, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. We have 2,498. We are 2 away from 2,500. 2 away from 2,500, which would be a hell of an achievement, and I'd be very, very happy with it. Thank you, LF. I appreciate that. Yes, I have some birthday plans going out tomorrow. My partner's sorted out a meal for me, and I'm very, very excited for it. CM says, any plans for DIY versus Sammy and KO at SummerSlam? Not to my knowledge, no. J Quick, yes, I am 35. If I turn my head, you can see the grey really firmly in there. Ringside News by JY. What's going on there, KJ? Dom says, what's up, Tom? And chat. Don't forget to hit the like button, or we have 3 words for you. Happy birthday, Tom. Appreciate that, mate. Eric says, here's what I would love. Finn beats Seth at SummerSlam, loses to Dom at Crown Jewel, and Priest cashes in and wins. All 3 Judgment Day men win the championship, just like the Shield. Dylan says, Tom, how many Dylans are subscribed to you? Because someone is using my last name. Maybe you subscribed on a different account many, many moons ago. Who knows? Bailey says, whatever happened to Aaliyah? She was cleared a long time ago. Something has happened, but it may be that it's something that's personal and she does not want to discuss it. I don't know, essentially, is the best way to describe that. Spider-Boss says, who do you see getting called up to the main roster after SummerSlam? My picks are Bron Breakker and Roxanne Perez. That is actually my next piece of news, so let's discuss it. I've already covered some of this, so let's talk about call-ups. NXT 2.0, the invention thereof, is being shuttered, is being removed, is calling quits and calling time. As a part of that, people who are directly related to NXT 2.0, such as, for example, Roxanne Perez and Bron Breakker, are going to be moved up post SummerSlam. There is a number of people that have done everything they can in NXT, and some of these people, for example, as I mentioned, they're Bron Breakker, Roxanne Perez, are going to be filling the spots that are vacated by your Rouseys, your Lesnars, your Stratuses. As people go higher, so you need to backfill underneath. And a large part of that is going to happen with NXT call-ups, spaces being made by the removal of names such as, for example, Baron Corbin. Joey says, how much is Vince involved with SummerSlam? Vince McMahon either signs off everything with SummerSlam or he sends it back and it has to be rewritten. Razar says, is Bray's contract frozen with all the time he's missed? To my knowledge at the moment, it is yes. Adam says, Tom, do you see Dexter Lumis getting a mid-card push? Nope. Kelly says, my favourite SummerSlam match is Mark Henry vs. Sheamus at 2011. Pete says, I've just hit 400 on my other channel. Well, I said welcome. Well done, mate. Appreciate that. Mags is here, says, happy birthday, Tom. Happy birthday from Team Cluck. Team Cluck? Have I got that right? I think I've got that right. Been watching your videos. Thank you very kindly, Mags. I appreciate you. Someone I've known for a very long time who works extremely hard in this field, and I very much appreciate you dropping in for the birthday streams. Joe says, my most ever favourite moment at SummerSlam when Becky Lynch returned and when Brock Lesnar returned to confront Roman. So Joe's one favourite moment is 2 moments. So many if you've got to work on this. So many. Is it a meme now? Is that what's happening? Zane says, do you like when Sting came out and helped Cena win at Survivor Series? When he helped Dolph Ziggler win? Alyssa says, who wins out of Brock and Cody? Alyssa, I have a video of my match card predictions and my predictions for the match finishes already live on this channel. Went live on Wednesday. Check it out. KJ says, did you see LA Knight was top 5 in merch sales behind Roman, Cody and Steve, according to Brandon Thurston? No one doubts Brandon Thurston. No one. So I absolutely believe that. Number of the Devil says, any idea why Bray is still off TV? A whole lot of creative differences, a small injury, and the absence of Alexa Bliss coming at a time when they were writing creative to involve her. Sean says, Ronda revealed time got cut from the women's tag team title match at Money in the Bank, but never said what for. Most are speculating the Cena-Waller segment was the reason. That is pure speculation. Pure speculation. It also may be true. Spider-Boss says, lately Aaliyah has been competing on horse contests? What's horse contests? The Dude says, happy birthday, Tom. Thanks for being the best wrestling news source out there. I appreciate that, The Dude. Thank you kindly for the kind words. Oh, KJ says, sorry, Tom, I meant to say if you've been watching Collision, it's ran by Jay White. Not much, because it's on a Saturday, and I don't have my Saturdays. It's my one day with my partner where, you know, the kids are elsewhere. So I haven't, but if it's run by Jay White, I'm certainly interested. Leon says, insane to think Bray's been back for nearly a year and has only had 1 televised match. Yep. That's the thing. Backwards says, happy birthday, Tom. I hope it's a good one. Thank you, Backwards. It's been very good so far. Sai says, let's just celebrate that there are currently 84 people as I type, we're up to 93 now, who've decided that the best way to enjoy their wrestling on Friday night is by watching Tom. Job well done, sir. Thank you kindly. I appreciate you. KG obviously mentioned the Creed brothers, which is fair. Eric says, do you think Cora will get called up too? Yes, I do. Kang says, hey, Tom, just got here. Who do you think is most likely to dethrone Roman for the belt? Anyone as likely as Cody? Yes, multiple people much more likely than Cody, including Jey Uso. Joey says, Dave Meltzer is reporting that Raquel will face Rhea at SummerSlam. Have you heard anything on this? Joey, if you would watch my video on Wednesday where I stated the match card predictions and my preview, you may note that Raquel's name came up. Yes, Khalid, I will be streaming SummerSlam. Dylan says, Tom, why do so many people want Cody to dethrone Roman when it has to be Jey? Because a lot of people are big fans of Cody. Rosal says, Roxanne has just been losing every match lately in NXT. I thought that was interesting. Almost seems like they demoted her. Maybe the call-up is finally coming. It definitely suggests that what is happening at the moment is she's basically jobbing on her way out, which a lot of people do. Barry says, happy birthday. Have I missed the jelly, cake, fizzy pop and party games? No, the cake I'm eating myself. Fizzy pop, yes. I'll recap that part because I know quite a few of you won't have been here. But for my birthday, I got 48, I'm shaking these up way too much, 48 cans of cherry Coke. And a bottle. So I'm calling the bottle 2 cans and calling it 50. Amongst other things. But a lot of people have realised that I like cherry Coke. It's very much become a thing. Very much become a thing. Also, I've just seen the part where I turned my head and wow, I'm grey. Welcome, Barry. Thank you. Spider-Boss says I had hype on Sasha versus Bianca at SummerSlam 2021, but it never happened. It did not. I did report at the time that it was not going to... Sorry, no, I didn't report that it wasn't going to. I reported that she wasn't booked for the go-home show and wasn't booked there on after, which is accurate and has been proven true. Michael says, do you think Triple H regrets giving Bray so much creative control? Not sure. Daz says, do you think Punk and FTR versus the Elite could happen? No. Hogan says, my favourite moment were actually 10 moments, and they are. Adam says, do you see WWE do anything with Tegan Nox? They turned her heel. Peter says, could... Don't mind Randy's back on there. Oh, Peter, Randy's right there. In the shade, in the shadow. Kieran says, the Cena Waller was a pretty pointless segment, especially if it was just a one-off for Cena and not setting up a feud with Waller. It was basically, or at least it seemed to me, to be an attempt to convince the City of London, in this case the Mayor Sadiq Khan, to put his hand in his pocket. Joey says, do you think Riddle will have a match at SummerSlam? I don't. King Azza says, hey Tom, do you think they tease a solo split tonight on SmackDown? Yeah, they've been doing that for a while actually. Venom says, who's the face and heel in the Ronda Shayna feud? Shayna will be the only ones to stay around. So personally, I think she's the face. Ken says, Nash Carter returned to Impact Wrestling for the first time since he got fired by WWE. Dad says, my favourite SummerSlam was 92 in Wembley. KJ says, it's technically ran by Punk, but White is heavily involved. Sean says, I'm glad Alexa was wrote out of the storyline with Bray because she can come back after the pregnancy and not have to wait for Bray. Number of the Devil says, what's the creative problems with Bray? I've covered this in quite some detail, Number of the Devil. Essentially, Bray Wyatt has an element of creative control in his contract, which allows him to write his own storylines. And as he writes his own storylines, a large part of that means that other people have to be involved in those storylines. When he writes that out and then goes to the other people, they tend to not be particularly interested in those storylines, and that provides quite a lot of the limitations. Joe says, Tom, I'd like to congratulate my Riddle because he's expecting another child with his girlfriend. Spider-Boss says, I thought Rhea Ripley was going to be a dominant women's champion after she won the title, but she spent more time with Dominic. Yes, there are 2 Rhea Ripleys at this point in time. Thank you, Ghost. Says, Aaliyah has been competing in horse riding competitions for clarification. Appreciate that. Aaliyah may have asked for some time off. This is all very possible. After all, if you can convince the WWE that what you're going to do is going to help... promote the company, they will pretty much guaranteed say yes. Appreciate that, Ghost, because I was confused. Steve says, do you believe WWE will be moving back to Raw versus SmackDown at Survivor Series this year instead of War Games? Under Triple H, no. But it is under Vince McMahon, who's somewhere, something suggests Vince in this particular collection. Gomar says, I've been wondering what's next for Austin Theory. Sheamus. KJ says, speaking of 2.0 and call-ups, I need to sign up for a damn tryout. Hopefully I get in. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Do it. KJ says, I just realised the Randy shadow on your left side shoulder is a part of the screen and not a sticker on the wall. True. And yes, it is very much a lot of cherry Coke. Peter says, I think Tom is calling for an intervention. That'll last me a long time. Like a long time. It won't last me a long time. And when the devil says, I can smell that kidney stone a mile away. I need to drink more water. I actually have a problem kidney as well. My left kidney is like a poison kidney. It does not process protein as well as it should. I'm at times in a lot of pain. Alyssa says, LA Knight is moreover. Bray Wyatt's now feud benefit LA Knight. It did benefit LA Knight, absolutely. Bailey says, Brandon Thurston is reporting just 9 tickets remain for the Madison Square Garden show, SmackDown show. Going to be a good show. Callie says, I think they should pair up Liv with Bray. Absolutely not. That would be the end of Liv's career. Steve says, a lot of cherry Coke there, mate. That should at least last you the weekend. Steve, I don't know what you're into. I think we've just learned what you're into. But I'm not the guy to give it to you. Okay? I don't want to give it to you. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give it to you. Venom says, do you see AJ Styles on SummerSlam? And if so, doing what? No, I do not. I don't see him as a big deal anymore, unfortunately, which I think is a shame. Eric says, do you think any of the elders show up tonight for Tribal 4 Court? No, I do not. I think the elders show up once Roman loses. Barry says, great to see Walker's roast chicken Chris on top right corner. The best. No, Barry, no. That is absurd and wrong, and how dare you. Billy says, happy birthday, Tom. Haven't joined a live spoiler warning since April. Well, I appreciate you dropping in, mate. I'm sorry to hear that you haven't been dropping in, but hopefully it means you've got a very exciting life right now. Kieran says, if All In is going to be as successful as it seems on Twitter, would that make a WrestleMania in England more likely? Yeah. Spider-Man says, with Vince there, I think we could see the breakup of the Judgment Day soon. I have been reporting that Vince wants it. Number of the Devil says, the problem with Bray is that creative is not interested in what he gives them, and he's not interested in what creative gives him. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. They cannot come to an agreement on a storyline that works. Dylan says, if Jay loses, who do you think will dethrone Roman? Solo. Absolutely Solo. So I said, lots of pie talks and I never expected. Unrelated, but I'm sad that Klopp got moved on the overlay. So this is the second draft of the overlay, because Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool manager, just up here, was in a slightly different position, which was just awkward for everyone involved. Something about where he was positioned, like exactly where he was positioned, was a real problem. A real problem. And I just asked for a change. Just a little change. KJ says, Rhea's been dominant, and to be honest, Raw lacks threats to Rhea. They're saving Raquel, Becky and Liv for big pay-per-views, I assume. Yes, I would absolutely say that. I expected Liv would get the call for SummerSlam, but it looks like because of her injury, they've chosen Raquel instead. Sean says, do you think the Money in the Bank winners will have successful cash-ins this year? I think one will. Bailey says, is Adam Pearce able to wrestle, or is he done for good as a performer? Able, but will not be called on. Steve says, I got very frightened you were talking to me then until I looked at your chat feed. I respect it. I respect it. Zane says, who is your wrestling idol? Mine is Hulk Hogan. Mine was not Hulk Hogan. Mine was very much Triple H. KJ says, I thought AJ would circle back to the top under Triple H. So far, he hasn't, outside of facing Seth for the world title. Yeah, AJ was used very well in that opening tournament. He still carries a lot of weight with his name, but he's not there to compete for championships anymore. He's just not. LF says, any predictions for the Tribal Court tonight? I will be watching live, so by all means tune in and check it out. KJ says, is Shinsuke taking on a Ziggler role? We all know Triple H is high on him, but he's been taking a lot of losses. A lot. I feel he was only in Money in the Bank since it was UK, and they could sing his song. He is still popular. No big push is coming. We saw reports when he first returned that a huge push was coming for Shinsuke Nakamura. As I pointed out, it was not a push to the top. It just wasn't. Adam says, it was funny, but why couldn't Solo do it when they had that standoff? You'd imagine that Solo would retaliate, because it's too early. They have other things to do. Dylan, stop asking that. Guys, you're showing your whole booty at the moment. Many of you. That's multiple now. No, y'all got to calm down or you're getting kicked out. Spider-Boss says, unlike most fans, I think Solo Sikoa will be the one to defeat Roman. Steve, I exercise quite a bit. It's why my most successful streams were the days when it was you donate a channel membership or you buy a channel membership yourself, and I do 10 squats, which I would still do, by the way, because to be honest, I'm getting a bit fat. Could do that. Number of the Devil says, was this the same problem with Bray when it got released in 2021? Now, Number of the Devil, I have a video that's very good for you. I break down the entirety of the Fiend run of Bray Wyatt, the entirety of it, start to finish, with a huge amount of backstage information, like proper behind the scenes stuff about where Vince McMahon was involved, how everyone felt about the Swamp fight, and so much more. That should be something you check out, because it's about a 22-minute video and it is full of exactly what happened over that time period. Spider-Boss says, why hasn't Saraya appeared more often on AEW Dynamite? Because of other people. Joey says, where is JD McDonough been? They kept teasing him joining the Judgment Day, but he's off TV now. Yep, he's off TV now. He will be back soon. Ken says, what's your favourite pie? Lemon meringue. We have indeed hit 51 likes, and 51 likes is a good number. Will you just do this? Oh, okay. Okay. So, I believe my partner has now arrived in the house. She's going to be very confused. Where was I? Yes, I have a lemon meringue pie every single year. Thank you very much for reaching the 50 likes and exceeding it. Billy says, would you attend WrestleMania if they go to London? Probably. Parrish says, happy birthday. Thank you very much, Parrish. Appreciate you being here. Kieran says, thought we would have seen a club versus Bloodline when they brought Carl and Luke back, but they've gone missing as well. At least Mia Yim seems to be staying with AJ. They have very much gone missing. Very much. Michael says, your video on Ronda was interesting. Did she really want out of WWE after 10 months? Yes, she did. I try to put as much detail as possible into these videos, information you usually can't get elsewhere. So hopefully, I'm very happy to know that you enjoyed it, Michael. Hopefully many of you are in the same situation. No, Sam, I have not checked that out. Felix says, Beth versus Rhea would have been so good. Raquel's just not over enough, but she's not going to get more over without being used. Buttery says, does Hunter hate Ziggler? No. Barry says, my prediction for Tribal Court tonight is have guilty, not guilty, or a big fight. I suspect it will be two of those things. Yeah, Ghost Size a UK thing, basically showing your arse. Like, just embarrassing yourself. Alyssa says, why did Cody Rhodes interrupt Seth Rollins? Because Cody wants the World Heavyweight Championship. The belt was made for him. I've mentioned this before. Zane says, how long will it take you to drink 48 cans of Cherry Coke? A couple of days. And Joe, I did indeed say that. I'll do another one if we had 2,500 subscribers. We're only 2 away. We are only 2 away from 2,500. Yes, I've tried a few different flavours of Prime. They're not great. KJ says, JD McDonough, I don't know how to spell his name, but he was on Main Event this week. No, Eric, I didn't pop fireworks on Tuesday because ultimately you celebrate kicking me out. Thank you, WrestleFan. Appreciate that. Welcome to the show. Spiderboss says, I like the Ronda videos. It's good to know every detail about why Ronda is leaving. Sean says, in my opinion, Cody winning the world title isn't finishing the story. Nope, but he's not going to finish the story. KJ says, Ronda wants that because of fans or booking. If you check out the video, I don't know if you have already, KJ, I give all the details that I have on that one. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you dropping in. KJ says, I'm one of the few, but I'm a fan of Ronda and enjoyed both of her runs. Olay is here as well. Says, hello, Tom. How are you? Doing very well, thank you, Olay. Welcome to the show. Khalid says, Tom, at SummerSlam, I think Shayna Baszler is a face and Ronda is a heel. I think the fans have decided that without any real help in the matter. Steve says, to think we still won't get Becky versus Ronda in a singles match is a huge missed opportunity by WWE, in my opinion. I agree. Bailey says 25 squats for the 2,500th subscriber. I could do that. It's a weird stream, birthday streams. I'll do weird shit. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Razal says, who wrote Raw this week? A lot of people online are saying it was interesting. The women got so much time. The 1 week Triple H wasn't there. Thought it was funny. Triple H wrote Raw this week, I promise you. Willie says, 85 watching. Only 56 thumbs up. Give some love here, viewers. Thank you, Ollie. Appreciate that. Hector says, it's wild to think even if Ronda decides to fight in UFC, that her boss will still be Vince. I know, right? I know. It could well be that she's literally transferring from one Vince McMahon company to another, which is very strange. Joey says, do you think Cody goes after Seth once he's done with Brock? Yeah, eventually. Not immediately, but eventually. Owen Swain, welcome back, says, just subscribed. Are you officially at 2.5k yet? Well, I don't know. Let's find out, shall we? We're currently at 2,499. 2,499 subscribers right now. Spiderboss says, cool women's tag team turmoil match this week on Raw. Adam Mendes says, hey Tom, does WWE have plans for Odyssey Jones? They did. They had plans to involve him heavily when he was called up. But so far, nothing has happened. Hogan, what is your obsession with beans? Lots going on today. As I said, do you think Roman will be cashed in on? No, not even slightly. Dylan says, Tom, who do you think will beat Seth for the World Heavyweight title? Cody's there. I think Gunter will be in between Seth and Cody. And Joe says, Tom, all we need is one subscriber. I know, mate, but I can't subscribe to myself. Much like William Regal when he faced Goldberg. I can't beat myself up, can I? Can't beat myself up. We have wrestling news. Drew McIntyre wants championships. He doesn't want to compete for championships, he wants championships, which is one of the many reasons he was booked to face off against Gunter. This was first reported a month ago by myself, that the plan for creative that they were putting together for Drew McIntyre's return was a match against Gunter one-on-one at SummerSlam, and that is where we are headed. Drew McIntyre, however, is still carrying a little bit of injury and is not 100%, even though he's cleared to go. Hence why we're looking at a potential tag team with Matt Riddle essentially acting as a spoiler between them. Long term, we may see multiple matches between Drew McIntyre and Gunter, so that Drew McIntyre is always in and around championships, but I do suspect he will be the one to claim the gold away from Gunter. Interesting, Hogan. Khalid, yes, Elias is still technically with the WWE. Spider-Boss says, I think the only heels that I don't get what they do are Dominic Mysterio and Cora Jade. Interesting. Zane says, did you hear the news of Edwin van der Sar? Yes, he's really not that old. So, wow. Joey says, do you think Ilya or Tyler Bate could get called up after SummerSlam? Maybe. KJ says, maybe Gunter beats Rollins and that opens up the possibility for Cody or Drew to win the World Heavyweight Championship, which is exactly what I was very much suggesting as well. Butchery said, is LA Knight versus Theory a possibility for SummerSlam? Not to my knowledge. No, to my knowledge there is a different plan. Barry says, we got 2,500. Let's find out. Let's find out. We have indeed hit 2,500. Sorry if anyone has a big noise. Melonhead has subscribed. Thank you very much, Melonhead. Appreciate that. I'm doing it from underneath, but it's not working. Nowhere near me. Nowhere near me. I'm terrible at aim. But also, we've had a very generous donation from Aaron. Says, happy birthday, Tom. I have a couple of cherry cokes on me. You want me to buy more cherry cokes? I've got 48. I have 48 cherry cokes. You want me to buy more cherry cokes? That's a lot. That is a lot. I'm probably confusing neighbours as well. I'm not going to do them after this. Thank you very much, Aaron. I appreciate you. Thank you kindly. Mark says, I know it's your birthday. I want to say what an amazing man you are. The story you told last time was inspiring. And all the help you've given me with my YouTube and Twitch means so much. You deserve all the love and praise, and I'll be around and supporting you. That means a lot, Mark. I very much appreciate you being here and the help that you've given me and the channel in general. Just in many ways by being here, by hitting like, and by just genuinely helping out. Appreciate you, mate. Whew. As I says, if Cody beats Seth, Cody will be booed heavily. Quite possibly, yes. Backwards says, do you think Austin Theory is going to do 1 year as US champion? Triple H sure likes the longer reigns. I think that's certainly possible, yes. Rosal says, not going to lie, I'm not looking forward to another dragged out Edge feud and 30-minute match in the middle of a PLE. Still don't know why he beat Balor. I don't think that's unfair. Adam says, why has nothing happened with Odyssey Jones? I've given as much information as I can on that one. I don't have anything more. Joe says, I think Drew will beat Gunter. I agree. There's a donation from Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Spider-Boss says, do you think we could see a babyface turn for Damian Priest soon? I've already reported on that one. That is something that Vince McMahon is wanting to see. Sean said, are there still plans for a Damage Control breakup with EO turning face? Yes. Yes, there are. KJ says, Gunter has a little over 50 days left until he breaks the longest IC title. Do you think they'll wait until he breaks it before they take the title off him? If the plan very much is for Drew McIntyre to take the championship, that's the way to do it. Alyssa says, Cody Rhodes not winning the Consolation Prize Championship and then calls me an idiot. So you're on timeout. Wrestler Fan says, how many matches are WWE planning for SummerSlam? Well, Wrestler Fan, tell you what you can do. If you check out my video with... Oh, lost some. If you check out my video detailing my match card predictions, and of course my predictions for the show itself, you will get full details of all of that. No, Hogan, I've never shotgunned a cherry coke. I get gassy when I'm not drinking. Ed says, I miss the Tom Boo streams. You might want to watch the watch party later on today then. Let's just say I didn't just get cherry coke for my birthday. Oh, go on then, Joey. Hogan says, I feel like I've heard a lot of if Cody, then he'll be booed statements over the last year. Very true. Spider-Boss says it's unfair that Edge hasn't put over anybody since his return. He did lose to Austin Theory that one time. And Bismo says, Tom Colohue, happy birthday, my friend. I think you need a keg of cherry coke by desk side. Here we go again, because I have to show it. Have to show it. Get over there. Get over there. Have to show it. Bismo, guess how many I have? That's on my foot. These are all going to pop so heavily. But it's good wrestling. Bismo. In total for my birthday, I got 48 cans and a bottle of cherry coke, so I'm calling that 50. I'm calling that 50. Sean says, Edge lost due to an interference by Finn Balor. Yeah, lost the I Quit match, didn't he? Lost the I Quit match quite a while back. Oop, there we go, they're caught up. Thank you, Hogan. As I said, we could get Cody versus Roman at Survivor Series. And we could. Eric is loving the Adam Cole MJF team. KJ says, I know the number of matches you put in your prediction video I watched, but that's a lot of matches for Triple H. It is, and there could be more, because I didn't mention Edge. Adam says, why is the majority of the WWE roster like Apollo and JD absent from WWE programming? Because there are only so many hours in the day and in WWE programming, so they can't fit them all on. Jamal says, happy birthday to a fellow Cancerian. Mine is 7:15. Oh, happy birthday next week. Thank you kindly for joining us here, Jamal. Kieran says, it's crazy to think Theory has beaten Cena and Edge, but the reign just feels so lackluster still. I don't know who that is, Ken. Michael says, 48 cans of cherry coke is a lot of sugar. Yeah, and they're not sugar-free. They are not sugar-free. That's going to kill me. Steve says, not just cherry coke. Sounds like you make a cocktail for SmackDown stream. Maybe. Joe says, well, it's my birthday next year for WrestleMania. If there's a spoiler warning, April 5, we should celebrate my one. Joe, it is my channel. The reason we celebrate my birthday is because it is my channel. If you have your own channel, by all means, celebrate your birthday on it. But I'm not going to have a birthday party for yourself on the basis that then I would have to have 2,500 separate birthday parties. Think about it, mate. Khalid says, Tom, I'm really enjoying the stream. Thank you, Khalid. KJ says, saying Edge didn't put over people is a 50-50 argument in my opinion. Sure, he should have lost more, but without Edge do we have Judgment Day? I'd consider that putting someone over. That's not unfair. That is not unfair. Backwards says, are you a coffee drinker? I'm a caffeine addict. I am not. No way. Steve says, Edge versus Grayson Waller at SummerSlam. I think that's most likely, though Bobby Lashley is hovering around in the background. KJ says, maybe Ronda versus Shayna pushed a match off the card. They didn't. And they have to rush this feud due to Ronda wanting out. To my knowledge, they didn't. I think they added it, but it's also a fair comment. Joey says, bench press the cherry cokes. I actually do intend to, because when you stack the I've got two crates on top of each other, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And I do need more exercise. Pull the trigger, fill your glass with cherry coke. Don't forget I also had a bottle. I don't anymore. Plans for the Tag Team Championships are currently in flux, with no clear, certain plan going beyond SummerSlam. There is a number of pitches and a number of ideas going into SummerSlam, and one of them has been put into action. But at the moment, when it comes to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, there are no firm post-SummerSlam plans. And it could mean that while they're intending to split up the championships, that they last actually a lot longer than you might expect. There are no clear plans after SummerSlam for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I also do want to mention a little thing, but as I'm in wrestling media and have been in wrestling media for a long time, a very little thing that I really want to mention. Triple H, with his press conferences, particularly has made a point of showing how much he does prefer to work with UK wrestling media rather than US wrestling media. The main reason for this is, outside of myself, there aren't many UK wrestling media journalists, as it were, who are reporting exclusive news. Most of them are reporting for bigger outlets, and they are just reporting basically on what is happening at the time. They will go to the press conferences and they will ask somewhat kayfabe questions. Triple H would much prefer it if US wrestling media did the same. But UK wrestling media, by and large protecting their jobs, do not really focus too much on anything backstage or any particularly difficult or interesting questions. Sean says, if a break come in, do you see Becky back around Royal Rumble? I see her back by Royal Rumble. I don't know when she'd come back. I expect her to be back before Survivor Series, personally. KJ says you should get sponsored by Cherry Coke. I agree. Pay me money, Cherry Coke. Where are you? Where are you? Give me the Cherry Coke. There is a bottle of Cherry Coke there, and there's still a can from last year on Jay White's Rock Hard abs. His abs, I mean. Showed my ass there. Buttery says, is DIY returning? I reported on DIY on Monday. By all means, check it out. It's good news. Rodney says, is Goldberg going to show up on AEW? Hopefully not. Razar says, what's your favourite fast food place? Domino's, probably. Hogan says, I just hope this SummerSlam card isn't too long. 9+ matches is too much for my personal taste. Tough when you want to get all 8 titles and multiple non-title feuds on one card. Personally, I think there will be 11 matches, but I do think one of them will be on pre-show. It's alright, Alyssa. Thank you for saying that. Kieran says the PLE press conference is not scripted. They're not scripted, not in any way, shape or form. They're just very well behaved. Very well behaved. Joey says the journalists at the conferences didn't even ask real questions, they just shilled. Yeah, they know what they're doing. Venom says, do you think Johnny could get involved in a match with Miz and Ciampa? If he wants to. Dylan says, do you think Cody will ever win the WWE Championship due to AEW? AEW has absolutely nothing to do with it. Spider-Boss says, do you think we could see Beth Hola? Beth Phoenix? As Steve says, as you're attending All In, any matches you hope to see on the show? I'd love to see MJF versus... and Adams in timeout. You were warned. You were warned multiple times by multiple people. Right, Steve. I would love to see MJF versus Adam Cole. I also am just excited to see Jay White, if I'm honest. Samoa Joe might be there. Joey said if they're going to do 10 matches, it's going to be a 4-hour show. Yeah, Money in the Bank was a 3.5-hour show. Not a surprise. Eric said I think the time is coming for Ludwig and the Ring General to take the titles. I'd go with, Giovanni Vinci. Barry says I've got a can of Little Own brand cloudy lemonade. It's very nice. 49p a can. Nailed it. Nailed it, mate. That's what you need. That's what you need. We're an hour in. There are a few things I do still want to discuss. Firstly, yes, it is indeed my birthday, and I appreciate so many of you dropping in, wishing me a happy birthday, and I know that you all mean it. There are definitely times, as you guys know, when I've had post-its here, we've had a journey on this stream. I started in a very, very bad place. Very bad place. And I am where I am right now in a very, very good place because of people I've met since and because of so many of you who've joined me, who've helped me, who've backed me up. I really appreciate all of you with how many of you are even here now, how many of you drop in and drop out, just how many of you watch the shorts, do the quizzes, watch the videos, watch the lives, the ones who follow me on TikTok. There are so many of you making a point of being there to support me. I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to all of you. We are currently at 2,500 subscribers, which is a wonderful, wonderful number. My original plan for the beginning of the year was to reach 5,000 by the end of the year. That doesn't seem likely at this point. We were gaining good momentum, but my trip to Paris did derail quite a bit of that. I'd rather go to Paris, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with where I am right now. We are starting to recover with the shorts and the like. We did push down to a point where we were getting maybe 20 subscribers a month. Now we're back to getting 40 subscribers a month. When I went to Paris, we were at 160 subscribers a month. So I do feel we can snowball and start building that up again. But what I will say is that we are just getting started. I said to myself when I started this, at the end of 3 years, if I'm not enjoying it, if it's not profitable, I will hang it up. I can confirm at this point in time that I have no intention of doing so. I have a great time doing this for and with all of you. The watch parties for SmackDown, the spoiler warning shows, the random Q&A streams. I just have an absolutely great time doing it. So I just want to say a big, big thank you to all of you for being here to build me up, to raise me up, to hold me up at times. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Bismo says, we love you, Tom. You bring us great joy with wrestling news, so thank you as well. Backwards says, you're welcome for the support. You're a very genuine, kind soul and very hard-working. Khalid says, thank you, Tom. You're my favourite YouTuber. Keep doing the great content. Amazing videos on TikTok and the great quiz. Thank you, Tom. KJ says, yes, Tom is staying. He's not becoming a free agent. I am not. I'm not becoming a free agent. I'm sticking around. You can't get rid of me that easily. And hopefully this journey continues with so many of you staying with me. In the meantime, though, I will see you shortly when it is not my birthday. Spider-Boss says, you're welcome, Tom. You give us accurate wrestling news. Barry says, in another 3 years' time when Meta owns everything, and we'll all be doing this in virtual reality via own brain implants. I wouldn't hate that as an idea. Steve says, it's amazing to see how far you've come, bud. You deserve all the success you're getting. Thank you, Steve. And you too. I remember when we were pushing to try and get you over that line as well, and I'm very happy to see you doing so well as well. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you for SmackDown when it's no longer my birthday. I'll have myself a drink. Stop popping poppers. Party poppers, to be clear. And I'll see you all there. And why? What's happening? Horsey says, hang fire 1 minute. Why? I am planning to wrap up there, Horsey. I don't know what you're planning. Sai says, thanks, Tom and all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bismo says, I like your channel because it's just basic yet informative. I try and keep it simple. I try and keep it as simple as possible. The overlays are the most extravagant thing, and that's mostly because I just basically let Sai do whatever he wants because I know he's going to provide quality. I know it's going to be great. I know I'm going to enjoy it. That's what Sai does. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. The man is a guarantee of quality. So if anyone is going into content creation, wanting to launch a channel, by all means reach out to me on the Discord, reach out to me here, whatever works for you. There we are. Horsey, thank you kindly. Says, happy birthday, mate. Have a great day. Birthday. And sends me a very generous donation. Ed, yep, those old days, they were a thing. They were a thing. Horsey says, wanted to make sure you got my apologies. No apologies needed, mate. You're a very generous man. Thank you to all of you. I will hopefully see as many of you as possible for our SmackDown watch party. But until then, as always at this point, I will say, I've been Tom Colohue. You've been fantastic. And I'll see you all very soon.